training. This is part 3 of 3 of an example of circuit training that you can do with your dog. Past couple days I've included 2 other different circuits as examples of things that you can do with your dog, and today we're going to give you a third one that you can try out with your pups at home. So I get asked a lot, why do I love circuit training so much? And the thing with circuit training is that there's lots of research in the human world to suggest that it's incredibly beneficial, okay? We're working all parts of the body when we're doing circuit training. It's not like we're isolating one area over another area. We're getting a good global overall body workout for the dogs. The other thing that I really like is the variety that comes with it. Because we're constantly changing exercises and going through different ones, the dogs get really engaged and they don't get bored. Sometimes I find, or what I've heard from some clients, is that, my dog's doing some conditioning exercises, but after rep 10, 11, they're sort of getting bored of it. Where when we do circuit training, it's constantly changing for the dogs, so it tends to keep them a little bit more engaged. So let's talk for a minute about what circuit training is. So circuit training is when you combine sort of 3 to 5 exercises together, and you work on each individual exercise and you put it together in the circuit. So let's say I had exercise A, B, and C. I'd go through exercise A, exercise B, and exercise C. That would be considered 1 repetition. Then I would go through A, B, C again. That would be considered 2 repetitions. I do that 10 times, take a break in between so they could have a drink of water, just have a little bit of a rest, and then I would go right back into doing exercise A, B, and C as 1 rep, so on and so forth until they get to the 10 reps. I generally aim for 10 reps, 3 sets, but that's not applicable to all dogs. You have to really know your own dog and what ability they have and work to that. So if your dog has, say, never seen these exercises that you put together in the circuit, I probably wouldn't go right into circuit training right away. I would break down the individual components and behaviors. So going back to that example of exercise A, B, and C, if they had never seen those 3 exercises, I'm going to work 10 reps of exercise A, 10 reps of exercise B, and 10 reps of exercise C, making sure that my dog is really comfortable with the exercise before I throw it into a big circuit. So that's something to consider, guys, if you're looking at this exercise tonight in this circuit and you're like, oh, my dog's got like 2 of the 5, we'll just break it down a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that, and then work up to doing a circuit. The other key thing that you want to make sure before you do any sort of conditioning or circuit work, make sure to properly warm up your dog. That is one of the most important things. It's one of the most neglected things that I see. So let's make sure that we're doing that for our dogs so that they're going in with nice warm muscles and not cold muscles. So for today's workout, I'm going to be using my Australian Shepherd Quinn. She's 5. You saw the Sheltie boys in the past 2 videos. I figure it was time to give Quinn a bit of a run here. And we just picked up this new paint climb. I was so excited. Brian at For My Merles, who distributes and sells FitPaws equipment. So if you need any, that's the person you want to go to. There was these limited paint climbs, so I thought, let's use this for the video and just show you guys what it's sort of all about and what fun stuff you can do to incorporate with the climb. So I'm going to go warm up Quinn, and I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's dive into the circuit that we're going to do today. So let's talk a little bit first about the equipment that we're going to use for this. So I'm using my new climb. I was super excited to use it, so I thought, why not throw it in? And I've actually had many questions from people going, what can I do with the climb? So I thought, might as well show you some exercises, throw you a circuit routine that does include the climb. If you don't have the climb, no stress, no worries. There's other substitutes that you can use. You can use an agility pause table. You can use a raised up platform. Those are sort of 2 good alternatives that you could use instead of the climb. I'm also using something for her rear feet to target. So I'm using a canine ramp in this circuit, but you could also use a canine bone. You could use a round disc. You could use a balance foam pad, really anything for those rear feet to be targeting. You'll understand a little bit as we go through it. So let's actually dive into the circuit. Let's show you what it's all about and break down the individual components to it. So always get your treats ready. I'm going to toss a treat just to get her set up. First one is just her coming up and having her paws target this climb. If your dog is not used to putting their front feet on stuff, work that one in isolation and then come back and include this in the circuit. I am going to randomly reward this, okay? Because she's a well-seasoned conditioning dog. She doesn't need to be rewarded every 2 seconds for every kind of time she just hangs out there. Sometimes I might do a 3-second reward. Sometimes I might do a 6-second reward. As most of you know, one of my biggest pet peeves with conditioning is dogs that start to anticipate what we're about to do. So I'll just slow it down, and then she never really knows when we're moving, which is exactly what I want. The next thing we're going to ask her to do is sort of sidestep down this climb and perch work all the way around until her rear feet are targeting that canine ramp. When a dog is laterally stepping with their hind feet, there's sort of two key points. Number one is I want to make sure they're individually stepping with their back feet and not hopping or shuffling. The other thing too is really think about your reward placement. It needs to be up and back to encourage weight shifting to the hind end. If I pull forward with my reward and reward her like this, she's just coming forward and weight shifting to her front end, which is not what we want, okay? So keeping the reward up and back, step, step, good girl, step. All the way around until she reaches that ramp. At that point, you're just gonna hold them there, wait, waiting, good girl, good weight, good weight. So she likes to creep a little bit forward here, so I'm just gonna kind of get her back a little bit, good, wait there, good girl. So from this position here, I'm gonna walk 360 degrees around her, wait. Good, I'm always rewarding right back in front, wait. Walking around the other way, and rewarding back in front. If your dogs don't have this and they're not able to maintain this position while you walk around them, you could just walk sort of to one side, walk to another side, and slowly build up how far you're gonna go. From this position here, we're gonna ask for a rock back sit. Sit, good, and stand. So in that rock back sit, the rear feet stay relatively stationary, dog rocks back onto their rear end into the sitting position, and then comes back out into the stand. The next movement I'm going to ask her to do is a tuck sit. This is where she's going to tuck both her back feet underneath her and sort of hop up onto the climb. Sit. Good, good girl. Again, getting her to hold position here, just hanging out. There's no rush to go into the next exercise. She's been really good. That's awesome. Next thing we're going to do is work a circle to the left and a circle to the right. So we go left. Good girl. Notice how I'm pulling her forward to give her her reward. If I reward her here, you see what happens to this top line? It's a nice roach, which is not what we want. Because she started with her rear feet sort of forward a little bit, I have to make sure that I sort of stretch her out when I reward so that I don't get that roachy top line. So one to the left, right, and then one to the right. Good girl. That's rep number 1. So again, they're going to front feet target. You're just going to have them hold that position. You're going to ask for lateral steps. Nice and slow, step, step. Find your feet, find your feet. Good girl, good girl. Wait. You're going to walk around them. Good girl, good waiting. Well done, wait. Remember, if you don't have all the way around them, just work within the range that your dog's comfortable. You're going to ask for a rock back sit. Sit. Good girl. And stand. Well done. Little bit of foot movement on that one. I'm going to see if now we can try and do it without so much foot movement. Sit. Good. And stand. That's better. Good girl. Just wait. Waiting. Sometimes with Quinn, I have to throw in that wait command because she just wants to keep going. So just to slow her down, calm down her mind a little bit, I'll just throw in that wait cue if I have to. From here, we're going to go into the tuck sit. Sit. Good. Well done. Very good, girl. And then we're going to go into our spins. We left, left. Good. Right. Good. Well done. And then have her come off. So let's do that one more time. That would have been rep number 2. Good. Good girl. Pause up. Good. Wait. Good. Step. Good. Step. Step. Reward is up and back. Step. Find your feet. Well done. Waiting. Good. Wait. Then you're going to walk around them again. Again, they're going to weight shift with their back feet. They could weight shift a little bit with their front feet. That is perfectly fine. That's exactly what we want. I just don't want her to actually move. Good girl. Well done. Sit. 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 Good girl. All the way down. Sit. Sitting. Good. There you go. Stop. Sit. Good. And stand. So back foot came off there, so I'm going to work that just for a second so that she knows to keep her back feet on there. Sit. Good. That's better. Good girl. Hold that position for a second. Good job. Stand. Yes. Well done. So again, guys, if you see something the moment that you don't love, I tend to fix it right away and then go on to the next exercise. And sit. Good. There you go. Good girl. Into that tuck sit. And then from there, you're going into your spins. Left. Good. Right. Uh-oh. Oh, other right. There you go. Good girl. Perfect. And sit. Good job. So that's the circuit that I want you guys to try out, and let me know what you think about it. So let's just break down the individual components for a second. So we have front foot targeting, okay? From there we have lateral stepping all the way around until she comes back and puts her rear feet on the canine ramp. She's then going to hold that position. It's called multi-directional weight shifting, where you walk around them 360 degrees. Again, if you don't have that skill, that's okay. Break it down and just don't go as far. From there, we ask for the rock back sit. Rear feet stay stationary, dog rocks back onto their hind end, and then comes up into the stand. From there, we're asking for a tuck sit, where they come up, both rear feet tuck in, maintain position into a nice square sit, knees, feet, everything sort of tracking forward, okay? From there, we ask for a left spin, and then we ask for a right spin. Again, because she's bigger than a Sheltie, obviously, sometimes it's hard for her to maintain that natural stack on a climb, especially if she starts her turn with sort of her back feet here. So make sure when you reward that you're sort of pulling them forward to get that nice stretch of that spine so that she's not really roachy. And then that would be considered one repetition of your circuit. You would be going through that anywhere between 5 to 10 times, depending on the conditioning level of your dog. So we just did 3 reps, and Quinn's already starting to pant. But she needs a lot more to tire her out. Panting is not a good enough sign for me that she is fatigued. What I start seeing with this dog is the form starts to break down. And for many of the dogs out there, that's kind of your rule of thumb to see if it's going to be too much for your dog, is where their form starts to break down. Because a lot of these dogs are not just going to run off and say, you know what, I'm done, that was fun, it was great, see you, Mom. No, they're going to keep working because they have adrenaline and they love this stuff. So that's where we really have to have that keen eye going. Is it too much for the dog? What's happening with their forms? That's why we really have to pay attention when we do canine conditioning. The other thing too is that you're going to see differences across your different dogs when you do this. Not your, if you have 2 dogs, 4 dogs, 10 dogs, they're all going to do things a little bit differently. So you have to make sure you work to the level of each of those dogs and not expect that dog A is the same as dog B, as the same as dog C. All my 3 dogs have very different strengths and weaknesses with canine conditioning. My puppy, who's 16 months now, he's just getting going now with reps and sets because his growth plates are closed. But his endurance for this, oh my gosh, 2 sets of this and he's done. So we're still sort of building up his conditioning right now. So if you'd like to see more circuits like this and the ones that I've posted in the past couple days, I am offering a course, a circuit class, that is closing tomorrow night, Thursday at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. It's called Do More From Home, Circuit Training the Canine Athlete. So there's sort of 2 different options with the course. There's a working spot or there's an auditing spot. Really the big difference between the 2 is with working spot, you get to submit a video for my feedback, and with an auditing spot, you can ask questions and comments, you just can't submit a video. There's still lots of great bonuses that are included in this course. One of them is my ebook on the warm-up and cool-down of the canine athlete. It is just such an important topic that I'm just giving it away for free because I'm just so excited about it. So that's sort of the course in a nutshell. So give this circuit a try. Please comment below what you thought about it, how you found it with your dogs. There's other neat videos on my YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe because every few weeks I'm posting something up there, new video, new circuit, new exercise, something like that, just some tips and tricks on canine conditioning. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. If there's any questions, by all means, reach out. Until then, happy training, and we'll see you in the next video.